Okay, we have our triaxial cell. It's filled with water. Now we're going to set it up. There's a little gap here. We're going to try to close it, get as close as possible. So we're going to position number 2, number 1 raise, up. So we want to make sure it's closed so we can help the program close the gap, because the program automatically closes that gap for you. So there is a gap here. Just watch it very carefully. And I stop. So there's a gap right there. Now, look down here. This valve is closed right now. This one is open, and this one is closed. Now, we are going to connect the triaxial cell to the flow pumps. As far as the LoadTrac II is concerned, this is done. There's nothing you can do. Just remember, this is locked. This piston is locked, so nothing will happen by any mistake to our soil sample. Now, what we're going to do, we have 2 lines. One is the cell pressure, and that can only go into the cell pressure, and the sample pressure or sample pressure and volume controller, that can go in here. But before we do that, we want to make sure those 2 lines are filled with water. So there are 2 ways of doing it. Either we take the water supply, which we have here, and if we take the 2 lines and we open all the valves on the flow pumps, then the water will just going to flow by gravity. So if we go to escape here, escape, we go to position, number 2 and number 5, number 2, number 5, and that gives me the valves, output valve and supply valve. It tells me that the supply valve is open and the output valve is closed. So to open the output valve, I press 1, and then you can see the 2 lines. And if I press 1 here, I'm opening both. And you can see the water just coming out now. So the lines are filled with water. Now I'm at the same level right here. So I can just close the output valve now. So now my lines are filled with water, so I can connect my sample, and I open the valve, and that. Now there is air in the inside tubes, and this one here. Now I am going to de-air the inside lines from the sample pressure. And to do that, I'm going to take a regular line, I'm going to put it in here, and put it in the bucket to drain the water. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to push water from the sample, so it goes from here, comes out, and then comes up at the end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the valve, and then I'm going to go to my sample and go to valves. I'm going to close the supply valve, which is number 4. I'm going to open my output valve, so my output valve is open now. And then I'm going to do escape. I'm going to go to 4, jog, and arrow up. And I kept pressing the arrow up to push the water out. So the water is coming out in this line, and it's coming out through all the lines inside, and it's going to come out from the end. Now I'm just going to wait until it starts to come out like you see now, and so that means all the lines are saturated. Once the water starts to come out like that, I'm just going to stop it, and I'm going to close this valve. So now valve open, open, open. Valve, this one is closed. This is for draining the air that is inside. If I see any air bubble inside, I can push it out. And now my sample is ready to run the test.